Welcome to the Win, Learn or Draw podcast, because the Tigers never lose. They either win or they learn, or sometimes they draw. Bit of a thorough education, a tough one on Sunday night against South Sydney Rabbitohs. We'll hear from Hammy in a second about the game in a nice 30-second wrap. But look, before we do, if you like what we're doing, please follow us on Insta, subscribe on YouTube. 5-star reviews, very important on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We're on the race to 2,005 subscribers on YouTube, currently sitting just sub 900, and also 2,005 Instagram followers. A bit closer there, almost 1,650. So it's we're creeping up there. We'll be doing a bit of a merch drop once we hit that magic number. So make sure you're following and liking and sharing as well. Sharing any of our content makes a big difference.
Good point. Yeah, and shout out to a couple more reviews coming in on the Apple podcasting this week as well. So good to see the numbers getting up there, and 5-star ones as well. Haven't been sullied by that 2-star one we got a little while ago.
I'd love to find out who that was.
Yeah.
Who do you reckon it was?
Probably like Isaac Moses or someone like that, I reckon.
It would have been Isaac Moses.
Yeah. Or someone of that ilk.
Yeah, and is too much of a coward to give us 1 star.
Yep.
And he went with 2 stars.
Well, it's too good. Yeah, I reckon he listened to it. I really hate it because what they're kind of talking about, but it's just too good for me to give it 1 star.
It's too good for 1 star.
So thanks for your honesty, but would have appreciated a bit more positivity, Isaac.
Thanks, Isaac.
Yep.
So look, the Tigers learned again, 22-12 against South Sydney at Campbelltown College. I thought the lesson was over. Galvin went through, but it was like the bell went. We were asked to stay behind, and the lesson continued. So, not to steal any thunder from you, Hammy, but here is a 30-second wrap coming up. Let me get a timer up on our good friend Google.
Yes, please do.
And we'll see how close you can get to that 30-second mark. I'm padding because the internet's not very good.
No, that's building. Okay. Pad away. Pad up for me.
Oh, padding up.
Yep.
Day 5. Okay, here we go.
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
The Tigers Rabbitohs headline round 11, 6:15 p.m. Sunday at the 9th wonder of the world, Campbelltown College. Rain and wind combined to leave the playing surface resembling, at times, a Serengeti floodplain. A couple of soft tries in the first half saw the Rabbitohs take a 12-0 lead before Koroisau scored one of the great individual tries of the modern era. More on that in the Waka Spicy Play of the Week in just a moment. Conditions didn't improve much more through the second half, and at times we were our own worst enemy. Koroisau again put the team on his back. A cracking try in the 68th minute. Galvin had a chance to put us in front, but Campbell Graham denied him just. A late arrow try confirms another Tigers lesson.
Nice. That was 39 seconds.
So really, nowhere near it, but at the same time, probably as close as I've been.
Yeah, I reckon that's easily as close as you've been.
Yep.
I thought that was pretty good areas.
So I've been learning a lot.
You have.
I've been doing my Kumon, a lot of after hours learning, and I'm down here now, and I'm getting a bit closer.
I just walked past that building now. I know what you're talking about. Luckily, I would have been questioning it. But
it's interesting how, we've started this podcast in here, a lot of learning going on here. A couple of weeks later, a Kumon opens just down the hallway. Coincidence? I think not. A lot of learning going on in this part of the world.
Very much an education learning facility here.
Yep.
You mentioned Waka Spicy Play of the Week.
I did. Sorry to jump ahead. But,
I know. Spoiler.
Yeah.
How did you know that was coming? Koroisau putting Latrell Mitchell on skates.
Unbelievable.
Like, how many tricks did he do in that 1 second of play? Put Latrell in about 4 or 5 minds.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what's he going to do?
Yep.
And he just left him for absolute dead, like a genuine ankle breaker.
Absolutely. This is a bloke who's a walk-up start to the Origin team. He's been defending very well lately, Latrell. But he did take a minute, and Matty was talking about it with us in the Orange Room earlier, where, Appy went through and he kind of just looked up at the screen and went, had a bit of a look on his face, a bit of a smile. I was like, what was I supposed to do about that?
It's just a really nice acknowledging nod, like, yeah, you got me.
Yeah.
You got me. I'm one of the game's premier fullbacks, but you really made me look a fool.
Absolutely. And it was just good to see Appy Koroisau kind of present the full same-game multi of options he could have done. He had the kind of the dummy, the chip and chase, the little jink inside.
Yep.
It was kind of all packaged up in one, which was fantastic to see. He's a hell of a player, and that was he had a couple of moments in this game that could have been contenders for the Waka Spicy Play of the Week. We don't just give these out. This is Australia's #1 wet noodle brand.
Yes.
We still haven't replied to our DMs. More on that later as well.
Yeah.
But incredible play and deserved winner, I think, this week.
And like you said, that wasn't it was his finest moment of the game for sure, but it wasn't his only fine moment of the game. There was so many. Well, he scored another try, obviously, with a deception out of dummy half.
Yep.
He made another line break and put Latrell on skates. So he is, he's doing it every week. Probably not to that level. Like he had an absolute blinder, but he's doing it every week where he's just trying his absolute hardest. And through the hardest times of the West Tigers over the past 2 years, many learnings, he was always a standout player. So you cannot knock him for how well he represents that Tigers jersey. Big fan of Appy.
100%. Interesting, they asked him in the press conference as well. Still got some ambitions of pulling on a blue jersey at some point as well. He said yes, he was very much open to it. And look, you could do a lot worse, I think, than picking a guy like him in the blue side. They've obviously gone with a bit more of a defensive mindset at hooker at the moment. That's their, kind of what they're looking for. But he would not look out of place had they picked him based on the form he's currently in.
And then add all that creative flair and the kind of like attacking prowess of our great captain Appy. And add 58 tackles to that as well, like 80 minutes.
Yeah,
like the man can do no wrong. It's just disappointing to see that 16 other students couldn't quite live up to his potential.
Disappointing. Interesting to see, the 80-minute thing, no Talon de Silva this week. So
no Talon de Silva
out for Appy.
Had Tristan Hope at first reserve, number 22, so he was there or thereabouts. But yeah.
Benji didn't opt to use Brent Naden as a hooker in this one, had him in the number 14 jersey.
That was an interesting substitution as well. 18 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Put Big Nato on for impact. Talking about outside backs, and again, Appy's received a lot of accolades. He's a premiership winner.
Accolades, if you will.
Accolades.
Yep.
Played a lot of Origin, but I think winning Waka Spicy Player of the Week might be a career highlight for him so far.
Love to ask him where would this rank as a career highlight. It had to be right up there.
Well, you've interviewed him quite a few times, haven't you?
You know what? Leave it with me. If I get a hold of him later in the season,
right,
I'll ask.
Perfect.
Yep.
Awesome. Speaking of outside backs with the Naden inclusion, Starfatoa, I would say getting dragged. A few errors in his game. He's very capable of having absolute blinders and playing like a modern day Greg Inglis, and then also playing like a bit of a dud. Yeah,
well, he was trending at the start of the season. I was like, in years gone by, he'd have games up here, games down here, but it just seemed like he was just trending this way for quite a while.
Yeah.
Last couple of weeks, a few errors have kind of crept in, and there are a couple of other options in his position. So I guess that's just where I don't know what the plan always was going to be with Naden, but it looks like that's how they used him in this game. They just went, that'll do you. We'll try something else for the last bit of the game.
I said to you, it sounded or reminded me a bit of a Tim Sheens with Bo Ryan on the bench back in the day. Probably not the same impact. I think Bo was a bit of a clubman, a bit of character, a bit of a larrikin. He was doing Benji Marshall impressions this week.
He's still doing them. I've seen he's wheeled him out again on the breakfast shows.
On the Brecky show for Triple M. But on the other outside backs, how's these stats from the back three? So Buller, 25 runs, 297 metres. Taruva, 25 runs, 250 metres. And Stainsy, the Forbes Ferrari, getting in kind of Rams truck territory here.
Yeah.
24 runs for 194 metres.
Not bad.
Slugging it up.
Imagine how many he would have done if he had the number 23 jersey on his back.
Correct. I think 240 runs.
I would have thought so.
Yeah.
Just something for them to consider whether they give him that jumper permanently.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, like I said, it should be like a Super League thing where they just pick their jersey number and they
he was so good in it when he pulled it on the other week against the Dragons. I'd be
Look at the sample size of 3 games.
Yeah.
A double at Suncorp with 23 on his back and, not many tries since. In fact, 0.
Still great work out of the back. Don't get
great
me wrong.
Work. He's honestly, he played quite well.
Yeah.
All 3 of those guys really dug in.
Yep.
But obviously wasn't enough, unfortunately, to get us the W.
Uh-huh.
Mate, before we jump into the set of 6, just want to acknowledge we've got a bye next week, obviously, which couldn't have come sooner if I'm honestly talking about a rest for these players, a bit of a study break, don't you think?
Overdue.
Yeah, man, honestly, they look quite knackered out there. So, but, art never sleeps, I believe is the saying.
Yep, 100%. Well, I just think, I would argue you should have had it last week when we played the Storm instead of our 4th. Well, we played 3 games in 13 days prior to that.
Yep.
And some teams had already had a bye, zeroing in on 2 byes. Like the Storm will be having a bye, their second bye this weekend.
Their second bye?
Yeah.
Oh, they need all the help they can get with the squad they've got.
Yeah, they do it tough. They got to travel from Melbourne most weeks and whatever. But we hadn't had one at all. 3 games in 13 days. Instead of a bye, they give us Melbourne at Melbourne, to quote the Grace Reece Smith. Kind of a big one. And we copped 64 points put on us. We've just been a little bit, we started really well, but I get the sense, like you have kind of just said there, we've run out of puff a little bit. So this is coming at a good time.
Well, this will be a nice little attitude lifter for the players, I
Yep.
think, once they hear what we're working on behind the scenes.
Yep.
Because next week we're going to host Concord Idol.
Yep.
Right? So you might remember Australian Idol or
Yeah.
American Idol.
You're going to Concord.
You're going to Concord. We got Ian Dicko Dixon, we got Mark Holden, touchdown kind of areas where we're going to get the good students of the game.
And Matty will be Marsha.
Yeah. and we'll get the good students of the game, the listeners of the podcast who submit their chants.
Yes.
So we've had some come in a bit willy-nilly across the last few weeks. The Taruva chants obviously really taken this podcast to new levels,
It has.
collaborating with the West Tigers fan page. But
Yes.
what more can we get? Like, what do the listeners of this podcast have? We've had a few good written submissions, but we want some voice notes coming in of people submitting their favourite chants, and we will play the best ones next week and whittle them down to find out who the Concord Idol is.
Yeah, love it. Do we put it out to some of them, or do we send them to Concord, announce your finalists, and then get people to vote?
I think so.
Text in, or we'll figure out a way that you can vote somehow.
I think we need a Fanua Pole.
A Fanua Pole seems like the best way to do it.
Instagram stories
Yep.
with the audio there.
Yep.
And we can get real live data on which is the best chant. And once the winner wins, who knows what we'll do?
Yeah,
Well, the possibilities are endless.
there are. Yep,
Yeah, we could go to Leichhardt on a day we're not playing.
yep. Get down to the Three Spoons Cafe.
Three Spoons Cafe at Concord.
Shout out to them. Yeah, the possibilities are endless. Does immortality await? I don't want to get ahead of myself, but if we get a really good one, I haven't checked that off with you, but I hope that's okay. But
That's okay.
I think that might be an appropriate way to.
Well, it was well put. Does immortality await? It could be a very appropriate prize, a very well-respected prize as well.
Yeah.
Immortality on the Win, Learn or Draw podcast. So the crux of it is, over the next week, come up with your chance, or if you've already got one, please submit it in audio form.
Yep.
So next week we can play it on the podcast and find out who the Concord Idol is. And yeah, will you be an immortal?
Could it be
of,
you?
of the Win, Learn or Draw podcast? But please send them in to our Instagram story, Instagram inbox.
Yep.
And we will what's the
Siphon through them?
Siphon? Is that
Yeah.
a word? I
Yep.
went to say that, but I didn't think it was a word.
Sci-fi through them.
Say far through them.
You flick them in there, and I'll say far through them.
And we'll find out who the Concord Idol is.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get stuck in. Set of 6.
Love it.
So, big week for the Tigers. Probably biggest kind of news that we've had this week was after the game against the Rabbitohs.
Yes.
Which was tackle 1, the Origin snubs.
Yep.
Now,
They're lost.
You're a Queenslander
Yep.
through and through.
Oh yeah.
Tell me why Terrell May was not picked for the Blues.
It's outrageous, isn't it?
It's-
I think when you're a fan of a team, even more so when you're picking a team, I think what you got to do is kind of put your head space. What would your team least like to see coming at it?
Sure.
And for me, I can't work out why. Given the season that he's had, Payne Haas, Mitch Barnett, I can cop starting. But then when one of those guys comes off and you bring on a fresh Terrell May off the bench,
Yeah.
you can even start him, sure. But these guys, obviously, those guys have been there in the past and done it before. That terrifies me as a Queensland fan. That's like the last thing that you want to see. I couldn't work out the fact that he wasn't not only included in the squad, but not even in the extended squad. They named 3, an 18th, 19th, and 20th player.
Yep.
How don't they get a start in the side as well?
It's incredible, mate. Like, imagine like replacing Payne Haas with another Payne Haas.
Crazy.
Like, as a Queenslander, you'd be like, oh, God, here we go again.
Yeah.
Like, Brandy's on the radio talking about how his runs aren't effective. It's just him lugging the ball up. Daly says it's an attitude thing. But at the end of the day, the stats don't lie.
Yeah.
I know Crawley came out recently and said, Tigers fans need to settle down. Like, it's not super coach. But, mate, stats are stats. Like,
Correct.
He's running the ball up. He's offloading at will.
100%.
Has the biggest motor in the game. He's playing
Yes.
80 minutes. Like, see, these are some of the stats he had from the well, just before we chat on that, the conversation he had with his mate while he was live streaming.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Little bit problematic.
Yeah.
I will admit that. Saying he should throw the jersey in the bin and he might switch allegiance. If I'm a Queenslander, and I don't think a Queenslander would ever say that.
No, this is a good point. And in fact, it was raised, we debated it a little bit on the Bloke show this morning.
Sure.
Now, Kempy, he is kind of a bit more up to speed with kind of like streaming and all this sort of stuff. And he said, apparently, if you watch the full clip of that, it was a throwaway comment there, yes, which obviously doesn't read well or clip up that well, because he streams with a guy, a mate of his that lives in Queensland, and just stir him up a bit. He bought him a Blues jersey, blah, 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 just for a bit of banter.
Okay.
Later in the stream, he kind of went on to say, like, there's no chance I'd ever, like, play for Queensland. Like, they couldn't pay me enough. Like, you know, still I'll be getting around the boys, like, all this sort of stuff. Wish I was playing. So there was a bit more that he added in that obviously we weren't privy to from the clip.
Hold on, you're telling me the media have beat up on the West Tigers?
Well, potentially. So, look, time over again, I'm sure he wouldn't have even said it as a joke or whatever.
Yep.
But, yeah, potentially. When I only heard it in isolation, I was like, I don't know how that's going to play for him. But apparently there's a bit more context to it that softens it a little bit.
Really good that context has been provided, because I had no idea.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
When you want your news, you come to the Win, Learn or Draw podcast.
That's it. Breaking news. Heard it here first. Heard it here second. After the bloke potty. No, but he did rebound, and he you know, reacted really well to, obviously, on the field, finding out that he wasn't going to be a Blues player. 80 minutes, 19 runs for 199 metres, including 76 post-contact metres, 6 tackle breaks, 3 offloads, 63 tackles with 0 missed.
Yeah. So
and
for all
pumped out a 123 in Supercoach.
Well, all the people saying that they were going to target him defensively, he's had a tackle efficiency this year of 97.7. He's made like 430 tackles. He made 63, none missed in the wet against the forward pack where a bloke ran for 300 metres yesterday in Campbelltown.
Yeah, what a
so,
player.
You know, if that's your argument, they're going to target him defensively, it doesn't really hold up, as far as I'm concerned. A little bit disappointing that there was some comments from Daly in the press conference today when asked about Terrell May and why he didn't get picked. He said, quoting here, I just think the other players are playing better than Terrell May. All the things I'm looking for in a player, I think Max King, he's playing outstanding. Terrell's playing great. He just obviously needs to keep knocking on the door. I'm sure at some stage his time will come. And then he was asked as well, did you call or have you spoken to Terrell May? And he kind of went, me? No, I haven't spoken to Terrell May. So I thought that was a little bit interesting as well. I would have thought if you're the coach of the team, this is the guy that's been almost the most talked about player that could be included, surely you'd at least give him a buzz and go, we're not going to go with you, here's why.
Well, it's a really good point, because moving on to the next player that got snubbed was Jarome Luai. And Daly called him because they had a conversation, and Daly said, you know, the way that he handled himself was like a total pro.
Yep.
He was basically saying, I'm going to leave you out of game 1, but stay ready. And Luai said, I will be.
Yep.
Said, I heard what I need to hear and I'm content with it, because now I'm in control of the selection at the end of the day. So Luai, you know, he did play for him last year. And he says he's still trying to figure out what his role at the Tigers is. And he says once he nails that, then maybe he'll be in for Blues selection. So similar kind of energy to what Nico Hines had, saying like, you know, if I get my footy right here at the club level, then I'll pick myself. But yeah, just the fact that he got a call and May didn't. And, you know, Benji came out in the presser as well and said, Terrell's attitude is fantastic.
Yeah.
We love it at our club. So I don't know why they're questioning that. And he must feel pretty bummed. Like, he's done everything he possibly can. Not that that's the end goal. I hope for the end goal for him is to make the top 8 or win the comp. But, yeah, he must feel pretty bummed, Terrell. But he'll still come out and pump out a 123 Supercoach score.
Yeah, I thought he answered it perfectly. You know, he obviously knew ahead of time he wasn't going to get a start. But, yeah, I thought he handled it like a pro on the field. Definitely.
And then the third player that probably was pretty unlucky, maybe not to nab the 9 or the 14, was Appy.
Yep.
I mean, how do you play better than he did on Sunday night? Even the last 2 years, for him to get snubbed over Reece Robson. And like, I know Madge had that really like grindy style that New South Wales wanted to play, and Appy might be a bit too flary. But again, he made 57, 58 tackles without any missed.
Yeah.
2 tries, 3 line breaks, that creativity out of dummy half. He picks the ball up, right? You know, he scored that try, the second try. He picks the ball up. Imagine you're Queensland, right? You go, is he going to dummy?
Yeah.
Is he going to go short and look out the back and go short to a prop? Is he going to go to one of the halves? It's like, how many minds is he going to break through and pretend to chip and chase and step around the best fullback in the game?
He's going to break our fullback's ankles? Like, there's just all these options.
I don't get it. And I think it just comes back to the fact that if you put on a Tigers jersey, you can't put on a rep jersey.
Yep.
It's just seems to be the rule these days.
Unfortunately, yes. And, you know, you mentioned some of those great stats, 80 minutes, 2 tries, 3 line breaks, 8 runs, 171 metres, 57 tackles, 1 Waka Spicy Player of the Week as well. So,
which if we had done this yesterday and Daly had known that.
Maybe that would have been enough to force his hand. Anyway, sorry, Appy. We record on Mondays. It is what it is. Maybe he'll pick you for game 2.
Sorry. Now that you've received this, to add to that list of accolades, and we'll add it to the Wikipedia page, I would assume, where it says the rep honours. We'll definitely put Wacanoodle Spicy Play of the Week. But yeah, tackle 1, just wanted to touch on all those snubs. And then to rub it in salt in the wounds as well. I don't know who handles the Bloke in a Bar podcast, but they put a picture of Mitch Moses as the selected half. Does anyone know?
Yeah, there's a very nervous laughter happening over the corner over there. Yeah.
And one of the comments, and I don't condone violence at any level, but one of the comments we had today was on the sharing of this blue squad and saying no Tigers was, does Mitch Moses have the most punchable face in the NRL? And I just ha reacted it.
Okay.
I'm too scared to say anything more.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Tackle 2. I want to, obviously we do go through these little dull periods as Tigers fans where we're learning. We learned really, really significantly down in Melbourne. And last night was a tough learn, like we had at Campbelltown against the Warriors. One of those ones where you go...
Campbelltown College, the school of hard knocks out there.
It is.
Yeah,
Campbelltown College, they put you through the ringer, don't they?
They do.
They don't give out degrees very easily.
No.
So these players will have to pay a surcharge in Australia when renting a car.
Okay.
Do you know what that means?
Young? They're too young?
Yes.
Yeah?
They're under 25. So Charlie Staines, 24, the Forbes Ferrari.
Yep.
So
he'd be, as the name would suggest, hiring an expensive car as it is. So,
yes. He couldn't even hire himself.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I know Skelton's probably got that left wing lockdown, but to have that depth of someone of that young an age is really nice to have. Buller, in my opinion, future immortal of the Win, Learn or Draw podcast or the Rugby League.
Well, send us a raw emotion, Jarome. We'd love to have you on.
I'd love to hear from him. He's 23.
Yep.
So he's super young as well. He's got a very, very bright future ahead of him. Tony Suka, I thought he had a great little cameo last night.
Big man, isn't he?
He's a big man. He ran hard. He only had 5 runs, but for 64 metres. He was really challenging that right edge of the Rabbitohs and stepped in for Samuela Fainu, who got ripped off when he got injured and accidentally touched the ball with his leg, didn't he?
Yeah.
Why didn't the ref stop the game? Anyway,
Yeah.
I digress.
Poor man.
Suka, 30 minutes. I thought it was really impactful. Probably the best I've seen him play in a Tigers jersey so far.
Yep.
He's only 20.
Yeah.
That's very young for a big bloke like that.
Absolutely.
I would have thought he's a bit older.
Maybe got a bit more growing in him too. He's already huge.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't grow from 20 to now, but hopefully Tony does.
Yeah.
Taruva, 2-time premiership winner. He's only 22.
Yep.
Which you can probably, he's a little bit cheeky. He's a little bit fun.
Course. More on him in tackle 3.
More on him in tackle. More on him.
Don't touch that dial because if you haven't seen this stuff with Taruva,
tackle 3 will shock you.
Yeah, tackle 3 will leave your jaw on the floor.
Samuela Fainu, 21. Sione Fainu, 23. Mate, I would have started him over Big Royce last night. I think he's such a talent, Sione Fainu.
Yeah.
He just runs the ball so hard in the middle there. And then Latu, your boy, 19. He's 20 next week if you want to send him a birthday card.
Wow.
Yeah, May 20. Same birthday as my mum's, 29th.
How good.
Yeah.
So much to celebrate. Yeah. 2 of our favourites here at Win, Learn or Draw.
Exactly.
Enjoy the bye.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. I think there's a lot of bright spots there in that squad. This is just in the 17 last night, apart from Latu.
Yep.
That's just in the 17 we had last night. So
Plenty to look forward to, isn't there?
Lots to look forward to.
Yep.
Lots to look forward
100%.
to. So, keep your head up, Tigers fans. We got a bright future ahead
Good
of us.
advice.
Tackle 3, content of the week. So you sent this to me and you said it might have been a bit how you going, but what did you think? What did you think of it?
Yeah. I might even get it up, shall I?
I think so.
Yeah, so there was a bit of content that went around on the Tigers page through the week. It was our man Taruva, who's been a bit of a rising media star. Obviously had a great debut interview the other day with Fox League.
Yes, he did.
He went on the West Tigers Instagram and he did a blind ranking of things that he would drink for $1 million. So let me get this up. Here we go.
What a weird concept.
Very strange. Hang on.
Maybe we should do it.
So he's starting with...
Yeah, that's a 9. Is that vomit?
I think
7.
I don't even know what that was. No. Vomit at
Vinegar's
7.
not too bad. 4.
Vinegar at 4.
3. Snot. That's
Snot
not too
coming out of
bad.
a kid's nose at
4.
4. Just below the vinegar.
Bleach 6.
Bleach at 6 is a bit high for mine.
Piss 5 or 8.
Piss at 5.
5.
05.
Baked beans, that can go 1.
Baked beans at 1, that's fair.
Mouthwash, 2, 8 and 10.
2.
Yeah, actuals 2.
Mouthwash at 2.
Is that ashes?
Oh,
That is...
Grandma's ashes.
Grandma's
8.
ashes going at 8.
And Gatorade, 10.
Gatorade 10.
He's gone the ashes at 8. So what did he have at 9 that's worse than
It
drinking?
looks like a sink or something being filled up with something gross.
Okay.
But let us know in the comments. Do you think he had Gatorade too low? I would argue yes. I mean, that's the beauty or the jeopardy you play with a blind ranking. But snot at 4, bleach at 6, Gatorade at 10 below all those. Baked beans at 1, I can almost. I mean, obviously, if you knew everything, you'd probably have the baked beans just below Gatorade. But
I mean, it's easy for us to say armchair experts about what we
it's a good
drink in
point.
the top 10. So either we try and drink those things or we do the blind ranking of the things you drink.
Grandma ashes is just like a rogue one to throw in there at all. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's a bit gross.
Yeah, it is. But
But I guess that's the point of the list.
that's the point. Exactly. Hey, not everyone's. He's not here to make friends with this list. He's just here to answer it as honestly as he can.
What if it had like wok noodles left over
1.
juice? 1.
1.
Call it off.
Even if it came late in the piece, I'd say, look, I know we've already, and that's the point of the blind ranking, I've already done some order here, but I want to freeze it.
Yeah.
And move a few things down. Wok noodles goes at 1.
And I reckon they'd allow it too.
Well, how couldn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Great sponsors of the club. But
Great
anyway,
sponsors.
content of the week. Well done to River. And if his recent form's anything to go by in terms of content for the club, I don't think that's the last that we'll see of him in this segment.
I really like the recap of content of the week that we do each week. It really broadens the horizons of the Tigers. So it shows that we're so much more talented out off the field, which
Yeah.
sometimes we need.
Absolutely.
Right? And our social media team is fantastic.
Yep.
I could not give them enough plaudits. I think they do a fantastic
Top
job.
of the team. Great work.
Yeah, absolutely. Tackle 4.
Yep.
Board meeting, Reed Galvin.
Board meeting, Reed Galvin.
Tell me
happened today.
more.
Now, I was kind of hoping and sweating a little bit on, would we hear a little bit of what happened in this board meeting by the time we recorded this today?
Yep.
No, knowing the beauty of content, there's every chance that between now and when it drops, more news comes out. But anyway, it was all about regarding, basically, do they let him out of the last year of his deal next year? And, what are the repercussions like that for us?
Yep.
What do the Tigers get out of it? All that sort of thing.
Sure.
What do you think they're going to do? Like, let's just do a bit of speculating. That's all we can do at the moment because we haven't got the facts. But do you reckon he'll be with the club next year? And if not, what do you think we'll be looking to get out of it?
Now, I read a comment the other day that was probably wishful thinking, but it got me a little bit excited, and it was Galvin to the Bulldogs and we get Bailey Hayward.
Oh,
And I would love that.
wow.
I think that's the caliber of player that we'd want in return. I think he's got a very, very bright future.
Yep. You think they'll let him go?
No, probably not.
Yeah.
No. Well, he's been playing lock off the bench, so
Yep.
I don't know. I don't think he'll be here next year.
Yep.
Judging by his performance last night, I don't know, like in the last 2 weeks, kind of feels like his heart's not in it, but I don't know. That might just be a little down period for Lockie.
Hates the club, he reckons, by dropping that try.
Yeah, well, that looked deliberate, didn't it? He stayed so upright. Like, why didn't he die for the line?
It's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I joked about it on Bloke, but I think it was actually a good bit of defensive work by Campbell Graham. But,
No. Lockie's fault.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be here next year, mate. I can't see a world where someone announces they want to leave a club and they play for the next 18 months for said club.
Yeah, impending legal stuff as well going on.
Well, yeah. And then, I don't know, contracts mean nothing these days in the NRL, do they?
100%.
So, we've got Bud Sullivan tore us up last night.
One of our own, for the second consecutive week. Happenhouse in the week before.
Yeah.
Bud Sullivan last night. Who's next?
Exactly. Who's next? The buyer.
Well, then we got Panthers, probably Isaiah Papali'i and,
Yeah, true. Cleary.
Luke Garner.
Cleary's kind of on
Cleary,
the
out coaches.
I couldn't say what the board meeting outcome will be. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm similar. I don't think he'll be here next year, unfortunately. But
And you'll have to, like we said, when Latu Fainu comes back, we need to put Galvin to the bench.
Yeah.
It has to be a statement. Like, we're getting to a point in our season now where we probably, and without kind of naysaying, but we probably need to start building towards the future as well.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that future is Latu Fainu, Luai combo. And if we can put some actual NRL reps into that combo, then I can't see how Galvin doesn't get moved to the bench or moved to Reggie's.
Yep.
All that talk about him being integral and being in the best 17, it's kind of dropped off now because he's been very ordinary the last few
couple
weeks.
of quiet weeks. Yeah.
So-
It's funny how quickly he can turn.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't see him staying if that happens to him. So, I think he's made his bed, and now it's time to get out of it and go and sleep in a Canterbury Bulldogs, a dog bed.
Well, it'd be interesting to see where he does go. Because given the way the last couple of weeks have gone, it'd be interesting to see if he commands the same kind of coin that,
Isn't that
was thrown
interesting?
at him a couple of weeks ago.
Isn't that interesting? Like, I don't think he was at his peak when he got offered that $5 million over 5 years,
Yeah.
and he's definitely dropped off. And he might be in it like a slump.
Yeah, that happens, and there has been a lot of noise. You kind of understand.
Form is temporary, class is permanent,
Correct.
as the saying goes. So, if he can lift back up and get back to the level that he was at, then maybe he will demand another $1 million from another club. But at the moment, he's slipping away. He's getting further away from that six figures, and eggs on his face.
Well, I'd say comfortably we'll get 6 figures, but maybe 7 figures. He might struggle. I don't think I'm quite at the point yet where I'd offer him 5 or less.
90 grand.
Yeah.
He's on below minimum wage.
Anyway, we'll watch this space.
Watch this space, yeah.
Yep.
I'm very excited to see what the outcome is there because, it really does clear the air for the future of our club. Tackle 5. Now, this could be the most important tackle of the
Well,
season.
it is, yeah. That's why I've saved the most important point for it.
Last tackle option. What do we got? I've just picked it up from dummy half. I've given it to you at halfback. What's happening on tackle 5?
Well, friend of the show, Thomas Backfence Brown, a regular and a favourite here on the podcast.
And one we've pressed the flesh with as well.
We have.
Yep.
Yes,
One
that's
of the
right.
great
In the
men.
pre-season and during the season.
Yep.
Anyway, we love his work. And he has done what, a lot of you really should have done earlier. And he's got on the front foot and started not harassing, but encouraging Waka Noodles via their social channels to pick up a sponsorship of his show. And he's done it through, I would argue, the best way of presenting an argument, which is through Simpsons memes. And he sent us a couple of screenshots of how he's been interacting with them and kind of what he's been going with. So he's gone with Fat Tony.
Yep. Head of the Mafia, for those that don't watch The Simpsons.
Head of the Mafia there. Approaching Marge Simpson, I believe, when he's trying to collect a debt from Homer.
Yes.
So he's gone with the, you see, the Win, Learn or Draw podcast has been most vocal on the subject of Waka Noodle sponsorship. Where's the Waka Noodle sponsorship? When are you going to get the Waka Noodle sponsorship? Why aren't you getting the Waka Noodle sponsorship now? And so on. So please, the Waka Noodle sponsorship.
That's perfect.
A strong start.
That's perfect.
And then he's hit him on Instagram with Bart Simpson sitting there, arms folded in the KBBL radio studio.
Yes.
Gentlemen, I am not leaving without the Win, Learn or Draw Waka Noodles sponsorship. Now, it looks, just based on the screenshots he sent here, like Waka Noodles haven't actually seen the post yet.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's taken the initiative and got on the front foot and slid into those DMs, if they're anything like us, there's probably quite a few sitting in the requests folder, and they'll get to them in the next coming weeks. But, students of the game, listeners of the show, if you want to get out there and just politely encourage Waka Noodles to entertain.
Be kind. Be fair.
Kind. We don't want to put them off.
Yep.
But if you can make them laugh, get them interested a little bit with either some West Tigers memes or some Simpsons memes, be my guest. Love to see a little bit of that. And Tom Backfence Brown, thank you for your hard work. That's why you tackle 5 on the set of 6 today.
And I feel like Backfence is a smart bloke. He knows he's going to get paid in Waka Noodles if this comes off. So he'll never have to go.
He's got a hankering for him. He sent I think it was his brother who might have sent through the photo of the box of him on Sydney Road the other week.
Yeah, it was. It's great stuff. Backfence. I feel like that's the type of get up and go we need here at the Win, Learn or Draw podcast.
Absolutely.
And I don't know how long it'll take Waka to respond, but they can't ignore it for forever.
No, they can't.
Especially if funny memes like that, and both as mad Simpsons fans.
They're only human. They're going to have to crumble eventually.
Well, we don't know that. They might be.
Might be AI. You're right. That's why they haven't seen it. Anyway.
Deserved recipient of tackle 5.
Yep.
Thomas Backfence Brown, tackle 6. Been caught with the ball, Hammy. What's going on?
Tigers versus Dubai preview.
Oh, I can't wait.
This weekend. This is a big one. This is one that we, as Tigers fans, we pencil this one in each year, don't we? We look,
I love
we look forward for this one. Now, the bye, we complain about a cluttered schedule. We had, 3 games in 13 days.
We did.
The bye's actually played every week this year. So, they will be...
Friend of the full-time whistle as well, I think.
Friend of the absolutely. Yeah. They go hand in hand. They combine really well, those guys. The bye, they'll be out on their feet this week against us.
They had the Panthers last week, so
tough.
Panthers coming into form too.
Yep. They do get a 7-day turnaround though, so they should be fresh for it. But I'm looking forward to a much needed 2 points for this one. I don't know.
The bye's taking on a few teams this week, so hopefully we get them last.
Yeah,
they're taking on about 8, 9 teams. So
they do.
It'd be good.
And a lot of those teams have already seen, played the bye once this year. So
that's interesting.
That's really fair.
Yeah, I don't know about
and
that.
None of those teams have won 3 spoons in a row. So
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
really fair kind
But
of
isn't
approach.
the competition all about fairness?
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
you know,
Proof in the pudding.
yeah.
Yeah,
So they
I'm
keep telling you.
looking forward to this weekend. I think we're either going to win, learn, or draw.
Yep.
But I got a good feeling.
Yeah.
I think we'll.
Any plans for the game?
Yep, I do. I'm going to go down to my hometown, Ulladulla, and watch it from there with my mates, which
Oh,
I'm
good.
really excited for.
Love that.
A couple of BBs.
Yep.
At the pub.
West Tigers.
The
Bits.
Marlin. Have you ever been?
Marlon Samuels. Can you grab some shirts there, or what's the go?
No, what did he say? What did he want to say to
Marlon.
him? Hey, Marlon.
You wanna
grabbing
grab some more
shirts?
people?
You want to grab some more people?
You, mate.
We digress.
Yeah.
We're going to go into an ad break right now, so get ready to sit still for 5 seconds. It
Okay.
did work last week. I checked it.
Yeah, worked.
Yep.
Beautiful.
So here we go. Okay, welcome back.
Great stuff.
What did you
Ad
think?
for the Marlin there.
Yeah.
Very reactive, sort of.
Wow. Things are going really
Yeah,
well at the
mid
moment.
down there.
It's one of those pubs where you can't use FPOS and drinks come in plastic cups after a certain point of the night. So, yeah, not the greatest place on earth. But
Outstanding.
it's not
Well,
much.
have a good time down there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll enjoy the game. Are you any plans for the bye for you?
Yeah, we should have hooked that before the ad break, shouldn't we? Go to find out what Hammy's doing for the buy. Stick around. No, I'm going to be getting myself ready because I will be working next Monday, and we'll be doing obviously Concord Idol on Monday evening. But then I'm actually heading up to North Queensland to it is my partner's birthday.
Nice.
We've got some family up there that we haven't visited yet, so we're going to go and do all that. And then the last thing we do before we leave is watch the Tigers hopefully teach a lesson at Queensland Country Bank Stadium on the Saturday evening.
So how coincidental that your North Queensland trip
Just a happy
happens
coincidence
to be around.
on her birthday week.
An happy coincidence.
Well, she obviously loves the club. She was a proud attendee of Win, Learn or Draw Ladies Day earlier in the season. So
And she'll come back to win, learn, or draw. Well, this is almost a second iteration, isn't it?
it is.
Yeah.
You guys
okay.
should come up.
We should.
Yeah.
We should.
Yeah,
Queensland
fly up.
Country Bank
Flights are
Stadium.
nice and cheap in Townsville, which is the great thing about it. I've learned.
You going to Magnetic Island?
We are. Yep.
Great.
We'll be
Love
there on Origin Day, which is also Mon's birthday. So I've suggested rather than dinner, maybe a nice lunch that we go for on the birthday.
Great idea. Great idea.
Great meal, lunch, underrated.
Are you going to wear your Maroons jersey to your birthday lunch with your partner?
No, not to lunch. I'll put it on when we go and watch the game somewhere at dinner time.
Safe place to do so.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you're looking forward to that, but
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah, nice.
The top 05 for episode 12 or 13?
12.
12.
It's 12 because we've got to pay Matty again.
I was thinking that
That's
on
how
the
I've
way
been
over
keeping up with
here.
it.
Every 4 episodes, we've got to pay Matty.
Yep.
That's why I'm a bit flat today.
Yeah, that's okay.
Top 05 of episode 12. I'll let you drive. Take it away, Hammy
Yep.
Goodman.
Now, top 05. Now this is my top 05. Now, you can come at me in the comments if you want. There's some honourable mentions we might get to a little bit later as well. Couldn't squeeze them all in.
Yep.
But my top 05 fans of the West Tigers. Now, some of them you might be a bit more familiar with. Some of them you may know them, but you may not know that they supported the West Tigers. 1 or 2 you may have never heard of at all. But this is my top 05. So we're going to kick off with number 1. We're going to build up to 05 as being the most valuable one. I like that.
Oh, I
last
like
week.
that. Yeah. Good format.
So coming in at number 1, and there's no reason this bloke can't shoot up the charts in the coming years, but it's Australian opening batsman Sam Constas, who shot to fame this year.
Didn't he?
West Tigers fan. And as well as getting out there and taking down the number 1 bowler in the world and arguably swinging the momentum that saw us win the Border Gavaskar trophy.
Yep.
He's played 2 test matches, high score of 60. Obviously, we'll never forget that one on Boxing Day as well.
Never forget.
But he also showed a bit of rugby league out in the middle when he, he didn't instigate it, but Virat Kohli came and shoulder charged him.
Oh, yeah.
No arms in it. Would have been, 4 to 6 weeks
Yep.
probably in the NRL, but he held his own, didn't take a backward step. He's got a bit of rugby league about him, Sam Constas, which I like.
does.
And I think he's a deserved...
And he's a West Sydney product too, right?
he went to Cranbrook School.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
So, but he played his club cricket at Kingsgrove, so West.
Right.
Yep.
Good lad. And now where's Kohli?
Well, he's put him into retirement, hasn't he?
He has.
He hasn't played another test since then, basically. So
There you go. So Sammy Constance, that's great. We've got him on our side. He's a hot property. Is he playing in the Ashes?
Well,
Or is he playing in the West Indies
he's
first,
been
do you
selected
think?
in the squad for both of them. So he's World Test Championship final. Bit of chat that maybe Marnus might move up to open, and that might see him miss out on the side, but he'll be around the squad.
Yep.
And then you'd like to think if they're taking him over to the West Indies, he'll get a test or two in the bank, hopefully over there. But he's in the squad for both.
You know what I'd really like to see? Maybe if he was wearing a scarf, or if we could send him a win, learn, or draw hat.
Yep.
Him sitting up in the after he's hit a ton and he's sitting up there and the cameras.
Or getting to run it out and batting it in the middle of a test match.
Yeah, that would be great integration.
The baggy win, learn, or draw. The floppy.
Let's get a floppy.
Yeah. So he's in. So welcome,
Great.
Sam.
Sam and Kay, well done.
Stoked with that. Now, this next one, I've got a bit of audio to play with this. Might have to add the video in a little bit later, but I'm going with an international star of the screen, Joe Manganiello. Now, you might know his work from Magic Mike, Magic Mike XXL,
Okay.
True Blood, Spider-Man, and most recently, the host of Deal or No Deal Island. Now, he was probably peaked when he was kind of the face of True Blood or involved in that series many years ago.
But he's hosting Deal or No Deal Island.
Yeah.
You're saying True Blood was his peak? That sounds like
Well,
peak to me.
let us know. Again, this is my top 05.
True.
Let us know where you reckon he peaked.
Sorry.
But anyway, he came out in 2013 and he was a guest of the West Tigers. And he was interviewed on the pitch side on West Tigers TV.
Oh.
And this is what he had to say.
Well, Joe, tell us about how you became a Tigers fan.
The last time I was in Australia was 8 years ago. I was in Sydney for less than 20 hours. And during that 20 hours, the West Tigers won the premiership. So I'm back, and the first thing I said was, now that I'm back, I need to go see a game live and see my team. I figured if I was there and they won, it must be a good luck charm. So I'm here to hopefully bring them good luck.
That was a pretty special night for us as a club. What tell us about your memories of that night?
Well, I was in King's Cross that night, so it was just absolute insanity. Absolute insanity. So today I went to Manly today and got in the tank with the Sharks. So I had to take care of some Manly residents and try to bring that luck here tonight.
Tonight we take on Manly, as you said. What are you expecting from some of these boys? They're pretty big men.
Well, it's a special occasion because it's Robbie's 200th and G's 150th. So those guys were part of that championship team that I witnessed when I was there that night. So I'm here to help root them on. Or actually, I shouldn't say root them on. They mean something different in America. I'm going for the Tigers.
There you go. So there's the scoop.
Wow. Great find, Hammy. Or did you already know that?
Well, no, I did a bit of digging. That's where I kind of found.
Some good digging.
He was out, to support the boys again, having supported them to the 05 grand final. We went on to lose that game 36-18 to guess where it was as well.
Yeah, I could tell from the background of the video.
Yeah,
Campbelltown College.
But there's no denying that this bloke is a fan of the club. So
wow, Joe M. Probably listening, because we did have a few United States or Irish listeners, because he's on Ireland now doing Deal or No Deal.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Could be him. Joe, if you're listening, please reach out. Let's get you on as a guest.
Let us know in the comments. Now, coming in number 3, I've actually gone back to the world of cricket for the number 3 in my top 05 West Tigers supporters. And I'm bringing you Sri Lankan Test superstar. 44 tests he played. 3 Test hundreds, an average of 28.01. Russell Arnold. Big West Tigers fan.
Brilliant.
Now, if you're a fan of the Warren Muralitharan Trophy, and if you've consumed a bit of that content over the last few years, you will know that Russell is a big West Tigers fan. And in fact, when you're watching a lot of games in Sri Lanka, there's always a few, you don't get as many random South guys, you get a lot of random West Tigers guys. And they often show them on the broadcast. And Russell will point him out and then just start telling you how excited he is for the team this year and some of the trade, the player movements and all this sort of stuff. Big West Tigers fan.
How's this come about? Do you know the backstory?
I actually don't know the origin of why he's a West Tiger. I think he might have played a bit of club cricket in Sydney at some point while, a lot of players do from overseas come and get a bit of a feel for the conditions and stuff over here. Might have been something to do with that. I'm not 100% sure, but very active on Twitter. We'll often, a few people even tweeted him during the recent series and said, I love how Russell Arnold keeps talking about the NRL being a massive West Tigers fan, and he just replies with Year of the Tiger. And he quite often replied to the club and stuff like that on Twitter. So credit to Russell Arnold for growing the game, which is a big part of being a good fan of the game.
Do you reckon he got the Sabaj his gig at the West Tigers? You know, Sabaj has Sri Lankan blood running through him.
Really?
On multicultural round, he had a Sri Lankan flag next to him.
Wow.
So he must be his favourite player, I would assume.
Well, there you go. Maybe there's some synergy there.
If Big Russ is pretty active on Twitter, I'm going to go after him there.
Yep.
I would implore you, if you've got a spare second, anyone, but specifically you, Hammy, to message him and find out what the backstory is there, because that is superstardom rugby league.
100%. Well, maybe next time that there's a series out here, maybe we look to try to get him on somehow.
100%. If he's a West Tigers fan, like he obviously is portraying,
Yep.
talking about it on cricket commentary, that's a flex.
Yep.
That's awesome. Yeah, let's definitely get him on. And a great number 3.
100%. Getting to the pointy end now. We're up to number 4. Now, look, friend of the show. We can genuinely say this about the next inductee here, Angus Sampson, star of the screen, not only in Australia, but now more broadly overseas as well. Bump, Heartbreak High, Underbelly, back in that. Wilfred as well, a couple of episodes in Wilfred.
Oh, yeah.
And Footy Legends. I mean, it's probably where the first time we experienced Angus Sampson's work.
One of the great movies,
what a
Footy
film,
Legends.
underrated.
Yeah, Undo.
In fact, we should try to maybe get Arndo in our top 30 somewhere.
Yeah, wasn't he good in that?
We need a couple of extra halves. If you
He looked like a good ball handler.
Absolutely.
Matty Johns played a coach.
And Vossi. Didn't they commentate together for a little bit?
Yep. That was a great film. Yeah, Angus Sampson, definite friend of the show, has let us know in our inbox, which is great to see.
Yep.
I told you the story of how there were a few people at work talking about Australian actors, and I was like, how do I shoehorn in that that Angus Sampson has, DM'd the show, because that's a pretty exciting thing for me. And one of the girls there was like, oh, do you guys know Angus Sampson? Out of the blue. And I was like, oh, yeah, I do. And she said, I used to live with him down in Melbourne, and we had our apartment flooded. Anyway, her name's Sheeds. He called her Sheedax. She's not sure why.
Sheedax.
Sheedax. She still doesn't know why. But yeah, if you're listening, Angus, Sheedax says g'day.
Yeah, and also she wants to know why he called her Sheedax, so let us know. But loving, obviously the fact that he, gets around the show.
Yeah.
Sent us a great photo the other day up the pointy end of a flight going to New York, I believe.
Yes.
Or going from New York, up in seat 1D, and he had in his phone. Win, learn or draw, up where we belong, at the pointy end of the plane.
That's right.
Which is probably the only time we'll be there.
In front of the curtains.
That's right.
Unreal. So we're at seat 1D.
Yeah, finally.
We did it.
Yeah.
That's
the only
so
time I've
good.
been that far up the front would be when I flew to Tamworth last year to go watch the Tigers play with my mate up in, we played against Newcastle up there.
Oh, yeah. What seat were you in?
Might have even been 1D. There's not many seats on that plane, but the Tigers actually flew, they were on the same flight on the way back.
Okay.
Yeah, certainly there's no curtain, nothing that special.
How'd we go in that game?
We learned at Tamworth. Tamworth Tech.
Tamworth Tech.
Yeah.
I've actually been there for uni games.
Have you?
Tamworth Tech. We learned a lot. Geez, unlucky. Number 4, Angus.
Yeah,
to not
but
be
hey,
number 05. I'm really.
I think these two actually inspired the boys earlier together in the season. They went and visited the Zurich Centre and got him. And look, we started the season really well, so you've got to put it down to not only Angus Sampson at number 4, but also at number 05, the Blue Wiggle, Anthony Field.
Great man.
A huge, icon of Australia. Big fan of the club as well. Recently read his book Out of the Blue, well worth a read. He touches on his West Tigers fandom in that as well.
Great.
He had dreams a couple of years ago, you'll remember, of buying the West Tigers and converting them back to the Balmain Tigers. Remember this a couple of years ago?
Oh, yeah, I do remember
He did a video
that.
in an orange skivvy with the black chevron in the middle of it.
Yep.
He's since backtracked on that. He's cooled off a little bit and he's committed to a bit of a united front, which the club needs, because there's been a lot of different factions of the club wanting to split up. But he goes, no, not doing that anymore. We're the one club together. And you quite often will see him getting around at games out at the 8th, 9th and 10th Wonders of the World. I've seen him at Combank a couple of times as well.
Yep.
Just a man of the people. Doesn't sit behind the glass. Gets, I'm sure he does from time to time, but he's just out there, one of the fans. And he also penned the song Orange, White and Black, the song which we are to play at our home games after a win.
Yes.
So, yeah, he's always giving back to the club, always on the front foot, very vocal about how much he loves them. He's coming in at number 05 for me this week.
Well deserved. Anthony Field, the Blue Wiggle, coming in at 05. Bleeds orange, black and white and bleeds that through his family's blood as well. So he's not sure if it's his niece, I think, is in the Wiggles now as well.
Yep.
And his nephew is the Tree of Wisdom, who was also a collaborator on the Orange, White and Black We're Back song. So, The West Tigers run deep into the Wiggles realm,
Yep.
and it's very exciting given that they have such a great presence globally.
Yep.
That he could promote the mighty West Tigers to the rest of the world. The Wiggles are on a lot in my place with an 18-month-old daughter. So
Orange, White and Black, her favourite song? Or
it is, yeah.
fantastic.
And she only ever watches the video of him in the orange skivvy with the black chevron. So
Yeah, cool.
dad's intervention maybe.
Yep.
Could be
Good stuff.
but well-deserved winner. Anthony Field of the top 05.
Well, let us know in the comments. As I say, that's my top 05. Other people might have some different ones. There's some honourable mentions in there. A lot of people probably go, if you had 2 cricketers in there, how didn't you have Michael Clark in there?
Yeah.
Again, this is my top 05. Vic Darchinian, the boxer as well.
Yeah,
I learned that he was a fan of the club. Dawn Fraser has served on the board and obviously been an Olympic flag bearer, but it was a stacked top 05 as it is. Couldn't fit Dawn, couldn't fit Vic in, but or Pup. So honourable mentions to them, but let us know who would be in your top 05 celebrity fans of the club.
Tell you what would be a good night. All those people together in a room, just talking, like kicking back, talking about the Tigers' past and the future. And
Make it
present.
happen.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Great top 05, mate, as usual. A lot of thought, a lot of digging. Good old Joe. Do you know him? Yeah, Joe M.
Yep, as seen on Deal or No Deal Island.
Well-deserved second place. Got me a little bit emotional.
Yeah,
you know
well,
what that means.
Funny you should say that. Let's get into it this week. We've got a couple of, obviously got a few of our old favourites. We've got a couple of newcomers as well. Again, guys, so many came in. We love the enthusiasm and the passion. Can't get to all of them, but make sure if you're looking to get involved, we'll take some normal raw emotions on board next week as well. But we are looking for those Concord Idol songs cut from the same cloth as Tequila Taruva.
Yes.
We had a couple of weeks ago.
It's so good to see at the end of a game, after a tough learning or whatever, and you just watch the inbox light up of people being like, how do I vent my frustration, or how do I talk about my favourite moments of the game? And the Raw Emotion Hotline has become probably our most sought after moment of the weekend, right? And 100%. Week, because we recap them on a Monday, but we sit there on a Sunday and you trawl through them, and it must be, such a great moment for you.
Absolutely, it is. We had a full board of calls again this week. We're going to get to, might be on debut. I'm not sure if we've had them before. This is from Tom Pooley, although he might be going under a different name on this Raw Emotion submission.
Okay.
There's 2. A quick one where he's just testing the airwaves, and then a more meaty one where he gets into it.
Yes, boys, Tini Archer checking in here from Cinque Doca.
Tini Archer, check.
Sorry, boys, with the early crow on that one, but just wanted to say it's Tini Archer checking in here from the inner west of Sydney. And I've got to say, I usually follow my 15s game, but this week I decided to tune into Happy Koroisau and put on the masterclass in a losing effort against the South Sydney. Or should I say, learning effort against South Sydney today, down there in Campbelltown, the ninth wonder of the world. And I've got to say, Happy Koroisau must feel dudded by Laurie Daly and those Muppets at New South Wales Rugby League, because they wouldn't know a good 9 when they saw one. Happy would look very good in a South African 9 jersey playing for the Boca. He know there, because he should be playing for New South Wales Wednesday week. So should Terrell May and Jarome Luai. Now Jarome Luai, Mitch Moses, I don't think he could go particularly wrong there. But Terrell May not being included in the team for Max King, are you kidding me? Even Kiao Matangi must feel a bit dudded after his performance tonight. Laurie Daly, Madge, they cannot coach to save their life. They were coached by Timmy Sheens, the great man down there at Canberra, but clearly the lessons didn't get through to them. Their Nathan Cleary and their backline might save them in the end, because Queensland's backline and team is just not that good. Ooh. But Happy Koroisau, that try where he stepped Latrell, listening to Warren Smith and Mick Ennis just froth over everything Latrell did. He had a good game. But that referee, it was referee assisted, especially in that first half. I mean, come on. Wyatt Raymond, the game moves too fast for him to process. He doesn't understand the game in its true sense like we do back in Joburg. So anyway, plenty of lessons to learn from tonight's game. And going into the bye, effectively 6-6. Look at the bright side, Tigers fans. We're coming and we'll be better, especially with all the boys on deck to the Origin period.
How good's that?
Wow, hey, Danny Orcher.
Yeah. Good to get in a South African. Good to see the game growing over. Probably not since Jared Safi pulled on the orange, white, and black.
Yeah,
I felt this connected to South Africa as a Tigers fan.
Very good point. No, he made some really good points in that accent as well.
Yeah.
It was interesting to hear the commentators talk about Latrell non-stop, even though he wasn't doing that much. The moment that he didn't get sin bin was very interesting as well. I feel like he brought up another point about Latrell, but either way, Koroisau. I like the way you pronounced that. That was really good. The shortened R's and Terrell May. I can't even do it. No, some really good points. Thanks, Tom Pooley or Danny Orcher.
Denny Orcher. Some good points well made. Hopefully we hear more of you through the season.
Definitely.
Up the bocker. All right, we're going to go on to Ryan Douglas now.
Dougie.
He felt a little bit of pain, but he also had, I think, a good potential song for us, which I'd love to hear him record for Concord Idol.
Yes.
Right, let's get to it.
Now that one hurt big time. We played poorly, and I thought we jagged it. I think every Tigers fan thought we jagged it, and then that slow-mo of it slowly pouring out of Gavin's hands is one of the most heartbreaking things you've ever seen. But to be fair, Appy Koroisau, we wouldn't have been in that situation without him. What a man, what a man, what a man. Don't worry, be happy.
Yeah.
But real question is, has anyone seen Latrell's ankles? I think they've gone missing. If not missing, they're definitely broken because Appy, he just didn't know what to do when Appy made a break.
Good point.
Yeah.
Don't worry, be happy.
Snapped his ankles clean off. Don't worry, be happy would be a great chant.
Yes.
Because it's easy to remember. Everyone knows it.
It is.
Let's try and see if Dougie can submit that next week.
Yep.
Maybe Dougie's got a few
Yeah.
originals. I reckon he's got the creative bones to be able to pump some out. So, yeah, looking forward to his Concord Idol submission.
Yes, looking forward to it as well. All right, I'm going to go number 3, the number 3 spot on the Raw Emotion hotline. Very similar to a batting order. You put your best talent there.
Yep.
Raw Emotion hotline, Immortal. In fact, I was chatting to Guru in the Orange Room about this earlier, and he suggested we maybe change it to Immortal, which I don't mind. You happy with that?
I'm very happy with that.
All right.
The more puns, the better, Hammy.
The first Raw Emotion Immortal. Let's hear from him. He kind of processed the news and gave us a submission this morning.
Okay.
Hey boys, first Immortal here, coming to you in the early wee hours of Monday morning. A little bit depressed, as per usual, after a lesson. Not stoked about it. Don't really know how to describe that game. It was a little bit blue bally, if you know what I mean. Like, we were almost there. Oh, we weren't there.
Yeah.
Oh, we're about to, and then we got it taken away from us. You know what I mean? If you catch the gist of what I'm saying, we almost come through with the chocolates. Really keen on starting a petition to boycott playing at Campbelltown Stadium, by the way. Not a vibe. We don't win there. We get lots of lessons there. Not stoked on it. Not keen on it. We have a Wonder of the World as our home ground. Not Suncorp. Suck me, Suncorp. We don't like ya. But we have Leichhardt. I want to play at Leichhardt every week. We win there. Ah! Anyway, keen on 2 points next week and not having to stress watching a game of football. Shout out Laurie Daly for missing Teamoon in the team. If we lose, Daly's a knob. Meow.
There he is. That's why it's number 3.
Immortal. Oh, he's brilliant. Yes, very good points. Campbelltown College. Minzy. It's Minzy's fault.
It's underfunded, Campbelltown College. It needs a $200 million injection now. It is not fit for purpose. Minzy, over to you.
The school is falling apart. We don't have good enough teachers. We're learning too many lessons there that aren't sticking with us.
Yep. They're not on the syllabus that we signed up for.
That's it. The curriculum's falling apart out there. We need you to step up, Minzy.
Yep.
Schmitty with a couple of good points as per. He's a painter, by the way. I don't know if he's an artist or a...
Well, he's definitely an artist. He paints some great pictures for us. Theatre of the Mind each week here on the Raw
Theatre
Emotion
of the
Hotline.
Mind. That's what he's painting at Prowess is.
Yep.
Okay, yep. Thanks, Schmitty. Always a pleasure.
Great. And I said to him, I was like, look, I know we've got a buy next week. I'm sure he might submit something to Concord Idol, but I said, just keep us up to speed with what you're doing for the buy as well. We'd love to hear your raw emotion
Good point.
through the buy round. That goes for everyone. But
I reckon he'll be happy.
yeah,
Happy, sorry.
Don't worry, be happy. All right. Next one, we're going to Jaden Taylor, who had a couple of little thoughts and
JT.
musings.
Boys, this is an early raw emotion here. How about that from Appy Koroisau? Or should I say Benji Marshall, 05. Get it in. ROAR, emotion.
That was he was obviously in a happier time. I think that was for his second try. Followed it up with this.
Oh, fuck's sake. Fuck's sake. What is that? Can we get a good ref? Like, seriously, can we get a good ref for one game? What the fuck was that? It should be 12 all, and then fucking... Oh, boys, professors, I should say. Sorry, professors, how are we? Yeah, we're shit. Yep. Fuck's sake. What... We had one man today, and his name is Appy Koroisau. That's it. Didn't see anyone else. Did not see anyone else. Like, what? Like, oh, boys, fuck.
Yeah.
A lot of emotion there.
A lot. It's amazing seeing the difference 20 minutes can make.
That's like Harvey Dent Two-Face there. He went from one character to another.
Yeah. But that's what can happen.
That's what happens as a Tigers fan. Yeah, you can have your ups and downs. Unfortunately for JT, it got the better of him towards the end of the game there. But I do like how he called us professors. Very, very happy with that. I mean, Appy was a standout player. Bull is a bit hard done by. I thought he played fantastic as well. A couple of the outside backs, but some good points, and vent your frustrations every week, Jaden.
Made some good points on the refereeing as well. We didn't touch on I think it might have been Havili when Appy might have made a break and he pulled Buller back, grabbed his shirt. Remember that? And then I think the next play someone else did, and he ended up binning them. Felt like an even up one, but that definitely denied a try.
Do you know what he said as well when Latrell got the penalty against him when we'd made that half break, which is Appy as well. Wyatt Raymond, never trust a man with two first names, said, I didn't think it was enough of a break. The bloke, like, it's black and white. He went through the line and you're the fullback and you pin him down while your defence gets back. That is a break. That is a sin bin.
Yeah.
And he still said, no, I don't think it was enough of a break. It's not up to your interpretation, mate.
No, didn't like that call.
That's a sin bin.
Yeah.
Has Annesley come out and
no, it's a
whipped
shame.
him?
It's a shame.
It is a shame.
Because Everybody Loves Raymond's one of my favourite shows. Certainly wasn't the case last night. It's a shame he spoiled that for me. Anyway, I'll leave that to him to fix. All right, we've got one more to go to here. Thomas Backfence Brown, we heard a little bit about him earlier in the show.
Yes, TB.
He went with the Waka sponsorship. He's gone for a bit of clarification on the Brown family tree, and he's putting in an application to become the next immortal. So, over to him.
Hello, Elliot and Hammy. This is Thomas Backfence Brown, long-time listener.
True.
OG Raw Emotionalist, 13th, 16th, 23rd cousin to Mitch, Tim and Nathan Brown, respectively.
Related to all of them. Perfect.
I'm pretty raw right now, but I'm going to take this time to not talk about the game. I was just wondering, I didn't realise, I think you must have to put a review in to become a win, learn or draw immortal, because I've not got mine yet.
Put a review in.
I'm a Grammy-nominated artist, as you guys know. I'm the face of the goatees for Galvin. I grew a goatee, shaved my goatee off, grew it back. I'm also, the star of the Win, Learn or Draw Instagram Reels. 146,000 views on my video, 30,000 more than the next.
Was that on the shaving one?
Yeah.
I can just include my work to get that Waka Noodle sponsorship.
Yes, that hasn't gone unnoticed.
And I won't stop until that happens.
Good.
But yeah, I didn't realise I had to, put an application in. So please take this as my application. 2040 West Tigers till I die. Let's bloody go.
there he is.
Sticking with the Savage too. Now, what do you make of that application? Some good points he's made well there.
Some really good points.
I was particularly enamoured with the initiative he's shown regarding the Wakadoodle sponsorship. He's been a feature. He's provided some great content. Very loyal listener of the show as well. But what do you make of the application there?
I've just gone back, Hammy, through run sheets prior, and he is actually one of the first people that ever submitted a raw emotion.
Yep.
Which is pretty good point to hang your hat on. We have pressed the flesh with him as well, and he's an impressive person face to face. The run sheet there of what he's done is
stands up with some of the best of it.
He's part of the fabric of the show. There's no denying that.
He is. there's 2 points he's got to action. The first one, he goes, do I need to leave a review? Yes. Get on the Apple podcast and leave a review. That'd go a long way.
I agree.
And I'm prepared to commit right now, if we do a sponsorship deal with Waka Noodles, Tom Backfence Brown will be the second immortal of win, learn or draw.
Yep. 100%.
Fair?
100%.
Fair?
I think he's put in the legwork. We don't just hand these out willy-nilly.
No.
Like, you have to do a lot of work to get there. Reece Smith, the painter, the theatre of the mind expert, has done a lot to get there.
Yes. A solid belly laughs every week, I think, is just too much to ignore.
Yes, exactly. Oh, man. Can I sleep on it? I think he's very close.
He's close as.
Yeah.
It'll put it beyond. You just won't be able to ignore the data if he
exactly
if he gets the Waka Noodle sponsorship done. That's enough for me.
Yeah.
That's shut the gate.
Yep.
I think we're tracking nicely for that, and that's even if it happens of its own accord now without him having to, because he's already got the ball rolling. He says he's not going to sleep until we get it done, which I love.
He's laid the foundation.
You've laid the foundation for the rest of us to walk on. So very close. Sleep on it. We might chat about it more next week on Concord Idol.
Yeah, that'll be a good week to discuss it.
Yep. And I mean, if you win that as well, you're well on the way, I would say, to
that's a good point. Winner of Concord Idol goes very far into the immortal conversations.
Yep.
Well, is that it?
That's
Raw
it.
Emotion?
Yep.
And how do you spell that?
Sorry, just to clarify.
Because a lot of people will be listening.
R-O-A-R. If you need to go and get a pen, pause now. Unpause. You got your pen? Great. Test if it works. Working? Pen working? Awesome. R-O-A-R, which is the noise a tiger makes. Not to be confused with R-A-W. That's the kind of the sentiment we're going for. But we've just mixed it up with a bit of a tiger pun just to tie it up nicely as a content package for Win, Learn or Draw, a West Tigers podcast.
Sorry, I just got one question, sorry. If I get salmonella from raw chicken, how do I spell that?
Different. R-A-W.
So if I'm submitting an emotive piece of audio content to the podcast, how do I spell that?
R-O-A-R.
Got it. All right, let's go to an ad break.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Great ad break, that one.
Yeah, that would have given them time to get their pens.
I endorse this product or event. I'm looking forward to it.
Just be careful of that. Let's talk about next week.
Yep.
It is the most well-timed buy that I can remember in the club's history.
Yep.
We'll call it a study break. A bit of a break from the lessons we've learned over the past few weeks. Mid-semester break, exactly. Cancun on 3. Yeah. It's a bit of a sabbatical. We'll step away from the game. I really hope, and I think Benji will get the guys to do this, but step away from the game for a little bit and rest. Play a bit of COD, bit of online gaming.
Yeah. If you're going to stream it, just be careful about what you say.
Just be careful about what you say. Maybe go down to Three Spoons Cafe, grab yourself a coffee.
Little macchiato, little heart starter.
Yep. Just and gorge yourself on Waka Noodles. I don't know. Just
do what you want. Just get yourself away. Bit of laser tag, bit of 10-pin bowling, whatever it is that you want to do.
Whatever you want to do. Go to Canberra. Go to Magnetic Island.
Yep, that's what I'll be doing. Freshening up for a big middle portion of the season.
Come to the Marlin. I'll be there ready and waiting.
Grab some shirts down to the Marlin.
Yeah. I'll be.
If someone sends me a video of them grabbing his shirt, like Marlon Samuels at the Marlin, you're an immortal as well.
Don't hand him out.
Yeah.
Backfence Brown will
Captain's
be down
call.
There. He'll be down there.
He'll be down there. Yeah.
He'll be down there.
What time are you going to be down there?
Yeah, no. Preview versus the bye. So this is, like you said, this is the first 1 in 11 rounds.
Yep.
So we have to be one of the unlucky clubs, right? One of the 8 or the 6 or 7 or whatever.
Yep.
And you've said the Storm are having their second. That is crazy, man.
Ridiculous.
How do you get a leg up when you're the favourites to win the comp?
Very strange. I've also got another one. I have to check. Maybe everyone's got one around this time. They've also got another one during the Origin period, which I feel again kind of probably helps them a little bit when they've got missing quite a few players.
Yep.
Can't make sense of it, but well overdue, well deserved by the boys. Couldn't have come quick enough based on how we've been on the last couple of weeks.
Isn't it funny that they've grouped us in with round 12 and round 15, which are Origin buys, and then don't pick any of our players? It's almost like collusion. Now, I don't wear a tinfoil hat, but next week I might.
I'm pretty sure you do. There's been a few moments today where I've been like, has he got a tinfoil hat on underneath that other one that he's got on today?
The black and white one.
Yeah.
No, I don't. But I've got a few bones to pick with the NRL, as I'm sure.
And rightly so.
as well.
Yep.
And I wouldn't be the only Tigers fan that would feel that way. So
Yep.
Let's have a nice, relaxing week.
Good call.
We won't talk about the Tigers for a little while unless something pops up.
Yep.
Like the Galvin board meeting.
Yep.
In between now and then.
We'll be back in here tomorrow, I reckon.
The good news is we're 12th.
Yep.
And the top 16 is still on. So top 16,
Still a pulse. Here we come.
here we come.